Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another four-part slowdown series of Servant Leaders of Wisconsin for our June edition, so to speak. It's really interesting during these quarantine times. We've actually expanded our influence with the servant leadership movement. Since March's slowdowns that we did, we reached people in two other countries. We had an attendant from Canada and Mexico. We had about 8 different folks from different states attending S.L.O.W. And so maybe servant leaders of Wisconsin could become servant leaders of the world. What do you say? I say, let's do it. Let's keep expanding our influence. So for those of you who are very new to the servant leadership movement, I thought I'd just start out very quickly before we hear from our presenter today, Jen Endries, that Servant Leaders of Wisconsin started as a grassroots movement. It started with James Hunter, who wrote the book The Servant, being the invited guest of Festival Foods to come to the Meyer Theater and present. It was a free presentation that Mark and Dave Scogan funded, and to introduce servant leadership to the Green Bay community. And from there, we started to build on an audience and continue the conversation. So for over 10 years, we would meet quarterly in person in a group of between 100 and 200 people, given whatever the time of year it was, would show up and to hear some great information on servant leadership. And we defined servant leadership as a management style. There's X style of management, do it or else, that's command and control. There's Y style of management, which is management by consensus. Let's all agree before we move on. And then there's this management style called servant leadership, which is to serve the legitimate needs of others. That means to be strict but fair, celebrate victories, and treat each person as unique. And if you think about that definition, is it really that much different than raising a family, raising a business? So I would argue that it's not that much different. Just our humanity has certain needs, emotional needs like accountability and respect and appreciation, and some of these key needs that servant leaders provide for their people. And so our goal with the S.L.O.W movement, which means to slow down, like take time out of your life to slow down and take things in to better yourself. That's why we really like that acronym. We thought about canceling it. Some people go, slow, what a terrible way to represent this thing. And so this and that. And some people said, no, I get it. You want to slow down. And we were going to change it. And but we heard enough from folks who go, I get it. We need to slow down. Keep the message, keep it going, keep it consistent. And so servant leaders of the world, we are going to slow down together today because our topic is the power of positivity. Now in March, you heard me talk about how what you say becomes your day, how the amygdala can store up all your negative memories and position things to appear as they really aren't. We talked about the 7 negative emotions that we use to energize ourselves, but ultimately it wreaks havoc on our lives. And if you look at most leadership books, they'll tell you the power of positivity. Keeping a positive mind keeps a healthy self. And Jen's going to do a fantastic job with her 4-part series on the power of positivity. So I want to talk about, if you haven't heard of Sean Acor, if I'm pronouncing that name right, he became famous in certain circles on TED Talk. So you can look up Sean Acor, A-C-H-O-R, and he has a happiness talk, which is similar to positivity. And he talks about the happiness advantage that, and I'm paraphrasing some of these percentages. You can watch the video yourself, but he said that, when your brain isn't positive or neutral, you're 30% more creative. You're better at problem solving. Doctors are far better at diagnosing illness. Sales folks have a much better output when their brain is in a happiness advantage or positive advantage. So I encourage you, if you want more information after Jen speaks, to look up that TED Talk. It's great. It's 17 minutes. He's very funny and he's very educated and has a strong message. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend Jen Endries. A little background. Jen is one of the co-founders of Servant Leaders of Wisconsin over 10 years ago. She was part of the team where I gathered folks from different areas of leadership. She's in education. And we just thought, how should we do this? How could we have these quarterly meetings? And she was very instrumental in helping us get off the ground. She owns a company called Gen Ed, so she trains and coaches leaders primarily across the state of Wisconsin. And she is the academic dean at Rasmussen College, so a real energetic young woman that you will see for yourself. Those of you who have been coming to our events for quite some time know Jen very well. She doesn't miss one, and she's presented at several. And so I'd like to introduce you to Jen in her part 1 of part 4 series on the power of positivity. So take it away, Jen.
Thank you, Joe. Welcome everyone to our Slow June series. Starting it out right, today I want to be the highlight of your day. I want to bring a little bit of and talk about positivity and how to share that attitude with others. So my name is Jennifer Endries, and I am the Academic and Interim Regional Dean at Rasmussen College and also the founder of Gen Ed LLC. So I'm happy to be sharing with you some great information today about being positive. For those of you joining the call today that know me, that have been part of past training sessions with me, you know that I bring the positivity. I'm all about the Little Miss Sunshine, and if you've seen the awesome movie Inside Out from Pixar, I'm known as Joy. I even have the haircut that goes with it, so it's kind of fun. And I know some of you have heard me say that before. So I'm going to move to sharing my screen because I really have some dynamic PowerPoint slides that I want to share with you as well as we go through our session today regarding the power of positivity. All right, so starting out right, how to bring positivity into your day every single solitary day. This is the first of our 4-part series, and you are joining us to really learn about that power of positivity. We are going to focus on several powerful positive habits that have proven to help tap into the power of positive thinking. In fact, we're going to explore specifically 7 of them. These habits can be developed for yourself, and we will go through the different techniques and suggestions that can help you do just that. Start out with positivity every single day. So question for you. Do you believe in the law of attraction? Let's just throw it out there. Positivity is a choice, and we need to learn to harness that power of positive thinking. So today we're going to explore that concept of the law of attraction along with the first of the 7 habits, the most powerful one that I believe, which is the power of people. So when you think about the power of positive thinking and the law of attraction, you're looking at an issue where positive thinking is really about productivity, it's about being constructive, and it's about being just living in a proactive way. So as the law of attraction tells us, like attracts like. This means that the more positive you are, the more you pull positive people, opportunities, and choices into your orbit. You begin to vibrate at a frequency of abundance. And I know that some of you have heard of that term of mental abundance and mental capacity and mental awareness. And that's all that part of that law of attraction. Conceptualized in this way, there's no limit to how happy you can be, or think about it, how much goodness you can really attract. So I do have a question for you. My first question is, I have great news. And if you were to say that to somebody, I have great news, what would you actually write in that space of what you wanted to tell someone, what you wanted to tell a friend? And I'm going to give you a few seconds just to think through that. So now that you've written something down, I have great news. So the great news that I want to share with you is this. My husband and I decided today that we were going to get a new puppy. We are already the pet parents of 2 beautiful Shih Tzus and decided that it's time to add on to our family. And it's so awesome to share that excitement and that news with you because I can't wait to have a little running through my house. Now, I probably can wait for the sleepless nights, but I'm going to welcome them because we have so much love to give to our four-legged friends. So that's my great news that I wanted to share with you. So when you think about this question on this slide, could you answer it? And if you did, or if you couldn't, what does that prove? Well, it does demonstrate a very simple point here. You choose what you think. You choose your thoughts. You decided on your focus and what it was that you wanted to share based off that question. And nobody else came up with that idea of what you wanted to share except you. In other words, you have the capacity to determine what is in your head at any one time. You can make the decision to think any thought you wish on demand, split second. This is truly what I believe as the power of positivity. So how do we use this power of positive thinking? I love this quote. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. How many of you in the morning put 2 feet on the ground and have that mantra that set that intention for that day? Opening up your heart, opening up the gift of yourself to share it with whatever comes along or whatever happens in that day. Positivity is a choice. It's a choice that we make in the morning, right when we put our feet on the ground. This power to control your thoughts is a significant capacity. If you don't like a thought, you can stop it. If you like a thought, you can ponder over it. You can coin a phrase. You can think the unthinkable. You have total control of what is in your head once you have chosen to take it. You can choose to make sense through all these choices, but your choice happens at any time. If there's a moment in which your thoughts are negative and anxiety-provoking, you can simply choose not to have them and instead opt for more positive and harmonious thoughts. The choice is exclusively yours to make. It takes nothing more than that. Sounds so simple, doesn't it? And yet, those voices continue to come into our head. It does sound simple. It is simple, though really it is simple. And the liberation that comes from that awareness can change your life. You can choose to focus on the positive. There's so much positivity around us, and all you have to do is be aware of it. Even when you think about the hard times that we've all been going through, the change that's happened in our world, I know that I've had many conversations with coworkers and friends that have said, what would you keep? What positive changes have you made in your lives, with your families, with your friends, with your work? What are those things that you would keep? That's the positivity. Yes, positive thoughts can come out of every single thought and action that we have. Martin Luther King Jr. said it best. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving. And this is where we start to focus on and think about that law of attraction and the 7 powerful positive habits. Now that we've built a better and a deeper understanding of why and how positive thinking can completely transform your life, it's time to delve into how you can become a more positive person. And I think the majority of us are just naturally positive, but I think there are times in our lives where we feel that we could be a little bit more positive. And if we had some habits to reflect on, it might bring us down a path to make that a little bit easier. As we know, most of us talk ourselves into a positive thought or feeling, but sometimes it can be far-reaching. Sometimes sustained change is really all that makes the difference. This means it's important to focus on how to stay positive in all areas of our life, not just one, all. It's like change management. We're going to dive into, throughout the course of our 4-part series, at least 7 habits that are proven to help you tap into your power of positive thinking. And I'll explain how you can develop these habits for yourself starting today. Throughout, I'll offer techniques, I'll offer suggestions that will help you see the many different things that might help you to begin to behave just a little bit differently. It's like taking that one tiny habit and making it a big one. So I will throw out a book recommendation here. If you haven't read Tiny Habits, it's a great way to start the process to make these positive habits, tiny little habits that will help you be successful. And each of the 7 habits that we're going to discuss can help you realize through a range of approaches that it's important to find those habits that fit with your unique goals, your unique values, and your personality. So you might like all the habits, you may choose 1, you may choose 5. But the goal here is to be consistent and to create these into your lifestyle, making the habit the power of positivity. How do we do that? I'm going to share the 7 habits with you. But of course, today we're only diving into 1. I'm dangling the carrot a little bit so that you come back for the next 3 sessions. So not only do we talk about the law of attraction, we're also going to talk about our first of 7 of the powerful habits. The first is the power of people. Habit number 1, the power of people. While we can influence others to change, they can also influence us. The phrase, the people you surround yourself with, you become, nicely captures how important our social circle can be. So, to become more positive and to stay that way, focus on building connections with people who are good at sending positive vibes. Those positive people in your life, those people that bring a ray of sunshine. If you ever ask yourself, how can I surround myself with successful people? Know that the first step is to nurture your existing relationships with people who are good at achieving their goals. You know those people in your life. And maybe you're jotting down a few names right now so you can think about how they bring that positivity into your circle. And the people that you're focusing on may have different passions. They may work in different fields. But if they're positive and successful, then you can become more like them just by spending time with them, just by being around them. Like attracts like, law of attraction. The more time you spend with successful people, the more time you spend creating that circle of influence for yourself, the more you're going to find yourself meeting new people who inspire and motivate you to succeed. This will enhance your power of positive thinking. And not only will it enhance it a little, it's going to enhance it tenfold. It's true. So as a key takeaway today, as we think about the laws of attraction and the power of people and that positive habit of thinking about our circle, I'm going to give you 2 assignments. The first one is very self-reflective. And the second one is going to be about the people that are around you. So let me grab the first one. So I'm currently engaged in a book called A Year of Self-Love, Daily Wisdom and Inspiration for Loving Yourself. And this book has been an inspiration to me to help me continue to focus on and being more positive in my life. So here's one of our self-reflections. This is about you. Our thoughts, negative or positive, affect our bodies, our interactions with others, and the space around us. Be aware of how you feel when you say a negative comment about yourself. And I know we all do it. It may be, I don't look good in that outfit today. It may be, I can't do that project because I'm not smart enough. It may be, I'm not going to make that friend at that conference because they're out of my league. Think about that negative comment that you say about yourself. Does it help you be happier? Does it change your trajectory? Does it motivate you to improve? It's a great question. Or does it discourage you even a little bit further? And I think we can answer both those either way. So what I want you to do is write down something positive about yourself and then read it out loud to yourself and explore the emotions that come up. Compare this to how you feel when you tell yourself something negative. Now, this may be a journal exercise for you. This may be a meditative self-reflection for you. This may just be a self-care moment in time where you're thinking about it right now at this moment, a negative thought that entered your head today, how you acknowledged that negative thought, understood how that negative thought really felt, and then changed that negative thought to be more positive, more motivating about yourself. So that's your first assignment, your first self-reflection, your first self-care opportunity here, to take a deep dive into those thoughts that you have about yourself. And then we're going to change them to move it toward the people, which is the second part of your self-reflection for today. One of the easiest ways to work out who we are, what we stand for, what we bring to the table, is by who you want to surround yourself with, and therefore who you want to become. So I want you to do this exercise, this self-reflection exploration, where you think about your ideal role model, the power of the people. What traits do they have? And I know so many of you have done this exercise before, manager versus leader, good characteristics versus bad characteristics. I'm just asking you to think about those traits of that ideal person. And maybe this person already exists in your life, and maybe it's someone you're searching for. But what characteristics do they have? What are they good at? How do they act? How do they behave? How do they meet and greet? What's their charisma like? What's their problem-solving opportunities like? This is going to give you a concrete sense of the types of people you should aim to spend more time with if you want to develop and sustain a positive mindset. In addition to that, I want you to take a moment to write down the 5 people closest to you. And then I want you to take a dive back into the law of attraction, where like attracts like. Are these positive people in your life? Are these people that you want to and need to have a continued relationship with? And even if it's someone that you want to keep in your life, but they're not necessarily that positive person that can have an influence, how can you keep them at a different distance, at a different space, so that it can still bring value to your friendship, still bring value to that coworker relationship, but you're not dependent on them for that positivity, and you're not dependent on them for the law of attraction. This gives you some key things to think about, some key reflection. I want you to start out right. I want you to bring positivity into your day every day. I want you to put your feet on the ground when you get up in the morning and set your intention to be that positive person. And for the next week, set your intention on the power of people and what that means to you. When we come back together next week, we're going to look at the power of words as it relates to positivity. And then we're also going to look at the power of reading as it relates to positivity. I thank you for your time today. I'm sending you a little bit of sunshine and a little bit of positivity. Surround yourself with the best and make it a great day.
Thank you, Jen. As I promised, she is of high energy. She is the queen of positivity, and we're so grateful to have you share this message, and we're looking so forward to your next 3 parts. I just want to thank you all for listening, and end with this understanding that for those of you here in Wisconsin, you've sure you've heard that the Mark has shut down for good, and man, we are so grateful to them. The Mark was our facility. They donated their space for over 10 years to help the movement grow, and to all you folks at the Mark, to Festival Foods. Just can't be more grateful. Thank you so much for that time you shared and you allowed. And so we are going to be looking for another location somewhere between Green Bay and Appleton. And for those of you who are not in the area, we will continue to Zoom those meetings. That will be a different format. They'll be around 90 minutes. 90 minutes to 2 hours, and we will film those live. So you'll be able to attend and be with us as we keep growing the movement, as we find a new location. And so that's in September. And if we still do this in September, then we're going to do another series of slowdowns. So we always take the summer off, and then we continue in the fall. So you have a wonderful day. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday at 3 o'clock for part 2 of Jen's Power of Positivity in this June Slowdown series.